This is it. This is the playoff series that we have been waiting for a very long time, and it's the Leafs and the Senators in round one of the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs. So I'm here to talk about the playoff preview between the Leafs and the Senators, and this should be an interesting one. So I'm gonna get down and dirty with the actual games that happened this year between the Leafs and the Senators in the regular season. The first game of the Leafs Senators game was kind of pretty bad because the Leafs got shut out by the Ottawa Senators 3-0. And if you go back to that game where Linus Ullmark got his shutout against the Leafs, it was just embarrassing. It was just flat out pathetic. And the Leafs didn't deserve to get shut out by the Ottawa Senators. I mean, like, we just let our own brother, or the Ottawa Senators, out of all the teams, shut out the Leafs. I mean, that's just stupid. The second game rolls around, you play against the Senators, the game's tied at 2 in that second game, and of course some bad luck happens as Shane Pinto, the puck the puck gets deflected off of Shane Pinto's leg, I believe, when it clearly wasn't a good goal. That literally was kicked in. But no, they called it a good goal because it deflected off of the knee. I mean, what kind of crap is that? And then the third game of that series against the Leafs and the Senators, that game was complete utter bull. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, sure, you get the Leafs were up 2-1 in that game, but they end up shooting themselves in the foot with two goals being scored by Ottawa, and the Leafs end up losing 4-2 to the Senators. It's just not funny, really. So now you're playing against the Ottawa Senators in the playoffs. They beat you on the regular season, but it's not about winning the playoffs. No, excuse me. It's not about winning the battle. It's about winning the war. And this is it. This is the war. The Battle of Ontario is the war. The Leafs come tonight. Well, technically they don't play until tomorrow. They take on the Senators. The Ottawa Senators. They got in here as a wildcard team. I don't know why they're here. And then the Leafs, well, they finally won the first place in the Atlantic Division, which is, of course, the only thing that mattered. But what matters most is not just the Atlantic Division. It's not about the division. It's not about the conference. It's about the last team standing, and I want that team to win that Stanley Cup. Like, that's what I want. Like it or not. Yes, I know there's going to be people calling me out saying that, oh, you're just delusional saying that the Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup. It'll take for ages for your team to win the Stanley Cup. You'll be in your coffin when the Leafs won the Stanley Cup or something like that. Yeah, I don't care. Let me have my hope here, goddammit. Okay? So now we get to the real deal. And that is the stats. So, technically for the Leafs and the Senators, it's all over the place. With the offense for the Leafs, they were 7th place in goals, 19th place in shots on goal, tied for 8th on the power play, 2nd place in face-offs, and shooting in 5th in 5th place. The Senators, they have a way completely different kind of offense, where they're tied for 18th overall in goals, tied for 8th on the shots on goal, 11th on the power play, 24th% in shooting, and face-offs 4th place in shooting. Defense, at least, were tied for 8th in goals allowed, 25th place in shots on goal allowed, 17th place on the penalty kill, and 14th place in penalty minutes. Whereas the defense, the Sens are 20th in penalty minutes. They were 19th in the penalty kill, tied for 18th on the shots and goals allowed, 13th place. And then you get the stats where you get Anthony Stoilers and Joseph Woll. Both were having seasons of their own. Where for Joseph Woll, he had a GP of 42, goal point of 42, where Stoley had only 34 goalie points or something like that. I'm not sure. The GAA 2.14 for Stoley, and Woll 2.73. For save percentage, Stolarz had a 93% save percentage, while Wool had a 91% save percentage, which is 2% of the save percentage for both goaltenders. For Linus Ullmark and Forsberg, that's a way different story, because for Linus Ullmark, yeah, sure, he was with the Boston Bruins, but he hadn't even won a playoff series. And he's not he may be a good goaltender, but in the playoffs, that's what mattered. You saw what happened when the Bruins were up 3-1 in that series, and then end up choking in 7 to the Florida Panthers. So Ullmark had GP of 44, goal points of 44, GAA of 2.72, and a save percentage of 91%. Anton Forsberg had a GP of 30, a GAA of 2.72, and a save percentage of 91%. So technically, Ullmark's not that good. Yeah, of course, you get the offense core where you have Brady Tkachuk, Shane Pinto, Ridley Greig. You get Tim Stützle and all those guys. But those guys are just literally kids, like out of the water. Brady Tkachuk, who is even worse than Matthew Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk, by all means, he's a good damn player, but he's just a baby. Crybaby, man. Just cries to the ref, like saying, "Oh, where's my penalty call? Where is it? Where is it?" He's literally the refs are just babying Brady Tkachuk. Tim Stützle is a diver. He just dives every time. When whether it's a trip or a hook, he just dives like a fish out of nowhere, and they just give the penalty on the other team, while Tim Stützle skates away scot-free, which is complete another their bollocks. Really great. Remember that slap shot in the last game against the Senators back in February of 2024, which was, of course, days before my birthday. The Leafs, really great, just did a slap shot at the empty net. And, of course, Morgan Rielly took it to a whole new level. Just bam! Just roadkilled him. And then he gets suspended for 5 games because of a cross-check on my birthday. Great! And I don't know what to do with the Senators. Look, Brady Tkachuk, he may be a good player, but he doesn't have any playoff experience. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, any of those guys on that Leafs roster, even Chris Tanev, who had been into the playoffs with the Dallas Stars, they have their playoff experience. Even Jake McCabe, that guy is a freaking beast. And I hope he comes back from injury, man, because, oh boy, we need him badly. But you also get Matthew Knies. Yes, you have Bobby McMahon, and I want them to shine, really. I want not only the core four to shine, but everybody to show up. And the thing here is, well, what I want to see happen, look, I don't want Tim Stützle to dive like a fish for calls. Because diving would give you an embellishment, and that wouldn't be acceptable. You gotta have some opportunity scoring. Just shoot and then score. Get something. Don't let Linus Ullmark just say yeet, that kind of stuff. That guy needs let in some goals, damn it. And you gotta protect the net. Like, defense, protect the net. Just don't let any softies in your net, or else we're gonna have some serious issues. And most importantly, don't let the Senators just get away with crap. I mean, I've seen it before, and I've seen it again with other crap. The first one was in 2024, where the Leafs lost to the Bruins in Game 3. Brad Marchand just gets away with the trip, and then of course Trent Frederick scores that goal. Then you go back to 2023 in round 2, where there was a goal being called back on Morgan Rielly because the puck didn't cross the line, when it clearly did cross the damn line. And then 2022, Leafs end up just getting penalized by the refs because of a blatant because of a high stick being called on David Kampf, when it obviously isn't, and that was like a phantom call. Matthews' jersey gets grabbed while the Lightning scored, when it clearly was supposed to be jersey grab. And then last but certainly not least, John Tavares' goal being called back for Justin Hall, interfering with the guy, goal, when it clearly was a good goal by John Tavares, god dang it. And here we are. Like, enough was enough. I just want to win badly. I know I've seen the Leafs in the playoffs many times, but only seen up to from 2020 onwards. And before that, it was just always good regular season and come up short in the playoffs. 2017, Leafs play against the Capitals. They end up losing in 6 to the Caps in 2017. 2018, Leafs down 3-1 to the Bruins. They end up losing Game 7 to the Bruins yet again. Well, they end up losing Game 7 to the Bruins. 2019, same thing again. They lose in 7 to the Bruins. 2020, in the playoff bubble, Columbus just whooped us in 5. 2021, Leafs had a 3-1 series lead, and they end up losing that lead to the Habs in 7 games, which was complete another bollocks. And we let in Montreal make it all the way to the Cup Finals, and that was embarrassing and just real stupid. And then, of course, 2022, we all know what happened. Lost in 7 to the Lightning, and get screwed by the refs. 2023, we won against Tampa, but got cooked by once again, screwed by the refs, and the Florida Panthers in 5 games. And then Game 7, we end up losing in 7 to the Bruins yet again, despite being down 3 games to 1 and coming back from it. And that really pissed me off. I mean, you saw the reaction video in Game 7 against the Boston Bruins. You saw what happened. And don't tell me those were my clothes, because that was not my laundry. That was some of the clothes that haven't been worn yet. So just don't come into the comments and say you gotta clean your room and stuff like that. That is my living room, and yes, those were not my clothes. Damn it. And now, this is different. Look, listen, for the love of God, I just want to win. I just want to win against the Senators in the playoffs because Leafs lost to the Senators in the regular season. The Senators can treat those 3 wins as your Stanley Cup, but when it's the playoffs, it's not about winning the battle, it's about winning the war. And I believe there's a good chance that the Leafs can beat the Ottawa Senators, and I think the outcome would be I want to see the Leafs win in 6 games over the Senators, because at the end of the day, it's the Battle of Ontario, and the Leafs rule, and the Sens drool. Plain and simple. Alright, I think that's about it for the Leafs and the Senators playoff preview. So tomorrow, the Leafs play against the Ottawa Senators for Game 1, Round 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Remember, it's not about winning 1 game, it's about winning 4. It's the first to 4 games, not the first to 1. So if the Sens want to take Game 1 and want to talk rub it in my face, they can do that. But just so you know, even if we lose Game 1, we still have a lot of ways to go. It's still like we have a lot of ways to go. We're not out of the. I think there's a shot, and I believe if the Leafs can get it together, I think we can win this series. Plain and simple. Defense, step up. Offense, score. Get the offense rolling. And I'm going to see not only Maple Leaf Square to go buzzing, but I want to see Scotiabank Arena in downtown Toronto to be loud like a rock concert and not like a library. That's all I'm going to say. I'm ready for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, so let's go. Let's get that Stanley Cup. Let's win the Stanley Cup, because we got a long ways to go. So let's go, Leafs. I'll see you Sunday. Yeah!